SEMO ESPN Radio Sports Network.
I have more to tell you.
The Southeast Coaches Show airs every Tuesday at noon on ESPN 92.9 FM and 1220 AM. Live from Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson. This is your chance to delve deep into the Redhawks football season with head coach Tom Matukewicz.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go live to Wings Etc.
let's go!
Right here on the Kofeld Distributing Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN.
And we welcome you in live to the Kofeld Distributing Redhawks Coaches Show with Coach Tom Matukewicz, live at Wings Etc. And this will be our final week for the next few weeks where we will be in Jackson. So we'll be back in the Cape location tomorrow or next Monday. And we want to invite you to stop by. Still have some seats available here in the big banquet room. As you walk in at the Wings, etc., just take a quick right, and the Coaches Show crowd is right here in the back. They have their award-winning jumbo wings, popular for both dine-in and carry-out. They have a full menu, a lot more than wings, here at Wings, etc. They're fresh-made burgers, wraps, subs, quesadillas. They have entree salads, smoked ribs, one of the specialties here at Wings, etc. And their appetizer lineup is fantastic. It includes their ultimate nachos. Get a plate of those. Their deep-fried, spicy pickle spears. And, of course, all of the dining rooms are filled with high-def TVs, tuned into the best sports programming. And if you're looking for a place to watch any NFL game on Sunday, Wings, etc. is the place. They have the NFL Sunday ticket. Coach Tuke is here as we get ready to talk about the Redhawks and the Sycamores, and then the Redhawks and the Hawks. That's the name of the team that comes into Hawk Stadium on Saturday at 1 o'clock. But, Coach, let's start with the future of football, kids. It's take a kid to the game day Saturday at Hawk Stadium. Any kid 14 and under accompanied by an adult gets in absolutely free. The adult ticket prices start at just $10. Lots of reasons to fill up Hawk Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, last time it was a great environment, and I still remember the first game I ever went to as a kid, and those guys seemed like giants out there. And what an experience, and grateful that we have that promotion going. And, you know, because it does get expensive when you bring a lot of kids to games, and just really looking forward to seeing Hawk with that energy, because that's one thing our team seems to feed off of.
And before the game, the tailgate has gotten really big.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last couple of years, it's really taken off. Good turnout for the tailgate prior to the SIU game, your lone home game thus far. And you guys will do the Red Hawk Walk. How far ahead of kickoff, just so everybody knows right there where the tailgate is?
Yeah, it's always 2 hours. And so this happens to be 11 o'clock because it's a 1 o'clock kickoff.
So there's also the Lock and Rock, which
Yep.
gives an opportunity for kids to help lead the Redhawks on the field. How do kids get involved in that? Say there's some kids that might be coming to the game. How does that work?
Well, we probably ought to get Nate up here. I'm a lot more worried about third down.
Okay.
But all I
don't
know
blame you.
is when we start to come out, there's a bunch of kids over there, and that's what this thing's about. You know, we talk about community, we talk about family, and we want them to come be a part of that for sure.
We want to let everybody know that there are ways, if you have a question for Coach Tuke, we are on Twitter, so you can tweet your question or comment for Coach Tuke. We are at SEMO ESPN, so just send us a tweet. We'll pass that along to the coach. If you'd like to email us a question or a comment for Coach Tuke, you can do that. We are at SEMO Radio, or it's SEMORadio@gmail.com. So it's SEMORadio@gmail.com or at SEMO ESPN on Twitter. If you have a question or comment for the coach, the one unique thing about your first home game against SIU, not only leading you out onto the field were the kids, but the Harleys were there. And you're going to look at those Harley Davidsons.
Yeah, you can hear them and feel them. I love that, and just that energy that they create with the sound. And you know, to kick off college football at home, that was a great experience.
Would your wife allow you to have a Harley?
No, that's you know, I'm a terrible driver, and she's already said, yeah, no, that ain't happening.
She's shutting it down.
I don't even get to drive my car when she's in the car. She drives.
Well, that could
Let
be
alone a
that
motorcycle.
can be a good thing, though.
Yeah.
You kind of get chauffeured around. I mean,
Well,
you are Coach Tuke for
right.
for goodness sake.
Yeah. I think Lena, I got to take that trash out. So I think she reminds me that, she's still Tom, her husband.
So you go to Terre Haute, Indiana on Saturday, and I don't know if the Redhawks will play in an older facility than Houck Stadium, which opened in 1930, but they did last Saturday. That place was built in 1924, opened in 1925. They didn't play football in it until 67. It was a baseball-only facility, and you could still see that big outfield wall off in the distance where they used to play baseball there. But an unusual facility, only seating on one side. I know the locker rooms are a little unique too.
Yeah, it was a different situation. So we practiced there on Friday. That way our kids can just get used to how all that looks and is. One thing, we wore white pants, and we got all kinds of paint that have stained our white pants.
They painted the field, really,
which most people it's sewn in.
Yeah.
And so we got to figure out. Brady's here, so I'm asking for some more money to get some new pants or something.
I think that is a reasonable request.
Hey, it is what it is.
You can't have your guys looking like they just painted the barn.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, their field turf, I think they put it down in 2009, so it's about 6 years old. It looks like it's close to its last legs.
Yep. And so I think they must have just painted a lot of the stuff that just make it look better, and it came off on our white pants.
That's interesting. I think SEMO may have done that at the end of their run of their previous field turf. A lot of people don't know the Redhawks, Houck Stadium was the first FCS facility in the country to ever get field turf. They were the first one in the nation.
Oh, really?
And at the time, the company had just invented it, so it was a pure guess on how the shelf life of the turf. They said about 10 years, and they kind of went past the shelf life. Now we've got new turf, but at the time, Nebraska was the first school to ever put it in at the Division 1A level, and at 1AA it was Houck Stadium. But the new field turf that you guys have is in great shape.
Yeah, it's a great surface, and really, makes you appreciate just when you put the dorm and you kind of close that end off, and just the backdrop of the cliffs and stuff. It's a great environment for a football game, and you get all the tailgaters down there, and when that place is packed, it has a really good feel.
Do you prefer, and do your athletes, probably more importantly, do they prefer turf or do they prefer natural grass? Paul McRoberts, Redhawks All-American wideout, is here. We're going to talk to him a little later. We'll ask him the same question. What do you hear from the athletes? Do they like natural grass or do they like field turf?
Well, like I tell them, it doesn't matter what they prefer because they don't get to pick, and so stop worrying about something you can't control. As a coach, there's definitely some medical data out there about injuries, and practicing on grass is a much safer environment. And we have two beautiful practice fields that I'm very appreciative of. Even when I was in Division I for a long time, we didn't have the kind of practice facility that we have now. And, just from the pounding, your joints, you're able to recover faster. When you're in turf and you stick it, it ain't going anywhere. So if you get hit, generally it's a surgery. Where if you get on grass, your foot will give. You may pull a groin or hamstring, but generally you come out of that thing free. So from a coach standpoint, I don't get to control that either, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, you used to coach in a very bad facility, that McAndrew Stadium over in Carbondale, man. They had that old Omni.
Practice on the game field.
Not a good surface. They've got a nicer facility now, of course. And when we talk about your practice facility, Rosengarten, that got a big facelift a few years ago, and boy, they really did a transformation on that place. So the meeting rooms, all the stuff, nice upgrade.
Yeah, it really is. One thing about our facility is you got pieces everywhere, so our players have to go here for academics, go here for treatment, go here for football. But Rosengarten is a very good practice facility for us, and the treatment's right there. And then you walk right out to practice.
I remember my wife asking me, where do you guys, when you get on the bus, where do you depart from? I said, well, Rosengarten. Well, she went to college at Southeast. She said, where do they park the buses? I said, you won't believe it. They back them down that skinny little driveway all the way to the front door. It's fun watching those bus drivers have to back those buses down.
Well, that was the first question I asked. Where are we leaving from? You think Show Me Center or something like that. And they're like, no, we'll back them right down in there. So they earn their money on those trips.
All right. Let's talk about the trip. You go to Indiana State. This is a nationally ranked program. They are ranked again this week. They moved up a spot in each of the polls that they were ranked in. They're 22nd in the FCS stats poll. They are 23rd in the coaches poll. I guess they jumped from 25 to 23 with your win. You still got 3 points in this week's national poll as well. So you still are on the radar as far as the national rankings go. And you get there, and quickly you find out, boy, these guys are big, tough, and strong. And your defense pitches a shutout in the first half of the football game.
Yeah, that's was great to see. When you play a team, they won 10 games last year. You look at them; they're really good. But when you watch that game, you didn't see good players and then not good players. You saw a football team. Both sides had good football players, so that was what was encouraging to me. What we got to figure out is, we have everything it takes to have a good football team, a playoff type team, but we're not consistent. Defensively, we have a half that is as good as it could get, and then we have a half that's not very good. Offensively, first half we throw interception. We, lots and lots of 3 and out. I think 4 straight or something like that. And then in the second half, we explode in the fourth quarter for 21 points. So that's what we got to find a way is, how to be a consistent football team. Because I think if we can, this is going to be a really good football team. They're already fun to watch. That's what I tell you guys, the media and everybody else, man, you guys have all kinds of stuff to talk about on Sunday. Stupid Coach Tuke went for 2 and missed it. That's got to be great for ratings. Right?
Hey, I said at the time, I like that you went for 2 on the previous touchdown, and I like that you went for 2 on the final play of the game.
Well, that was definitely, when you're talking to your players, I want them to know that I believe in them. I trust them. I've won or been a part of teams that have won really big games on the road. And the thing I've learned about that is you have to go win them. You're not going to not lose them. And so when you get in that situation, you got to play to win, be aggressive. And that's what I want our kids to know. That is how we do things. And if we weren't aggressive, we wouldn't have been in the game, even from who we're playing, and we're going to get it on. And, I think our kids appreciate that. You look at Jacksonville State, they have the, they punt. And 3rd and 4, I think they just hand it off. I mean, you got 100,000 people ready to just pounce on that thing, and you have to go do something to win that football game, and that's what we decided to do. And of course, at the end, we didn't execute and end up losing the game by 1. But now I feel like there's not this big thing out there about our team, because it just felt like we weren't playing good enough at quarterback to win the championship. It is what it is, and then in the middle of the game, you knew it was time, and let's go see if we got someone else. And Dante comes in the game, and we have a spark. And now I feel like, hey, we got, when you look at our non-conference, and I was just judging it, 2 and 2 I'd have took. You got SIU, Indiana State, both are really, really good teams, and then you got SEC. I mean, you're looking at 0 and 3. To split one of those is good, and we got to get it on this weekend versus Shorter, and we come out of this thing 2 and 2. We found our answer at quarterback, and now you look at our football team. Where's a hole? I mean, there's things we could do better, but there's not a hole. Our kicking game got started a little bit. We had 2 really nice returns, and so now it's time to put all this thing together and start playing like a top team, and that's consistency.
For those who didn't recognize your reference about Jacksonville State, they've got Auburn down. They're up a touchdown with about 90 seconds to go. They're facing 3rd and 4 from their own 18-yard line. Auburn has one timeout. All they do, if they get 4 yards and a first down, they run out the clock and they win the game. And rather than throw the ball, they just ran it into the line and punted. And their all-conference punter shanked a 17-yarder off the side of his foot. And there with 40 seconds left, Auburn goes in and ties the game. You and I talked about it before the SIU game, and I just knew in that spot you're probably throwing the football.
Well, the safe thing is to do what they did. But hell, what have you ever done playing it safe? If I was playing it safe, I wouldn't have come here. I would have helped my wife play it safe. She wouldn't have married me. Let's go. Let's go. You can't be reckless, but, we didn't come here to just, play safe. I'm gonna push all those chips in there because that's when it's awesome.
Are you familiar with the new Twitter account, Coach Tukes Quotes?
Yeah, my wife reminds me.
We've already probably got about 4 tweets from that Twitter account already on this show.
Believe me, when I put a mic in front of me, no one is as uncomfortable as my wife is because she hears me at home popping off all the time, and she think I could uncork with something anytime. But yeah, I am aware of that. I'm not sure, what to say.
Coach Tuke Quotes. So there's an account for you to follow on Twitter. By the way, you can tweet at us. You got a question or comment for the coach or a Coach Tuke quote to quote back to him. You can tweet at us. We're at SEMO ESPN, at SEMO ESPN, and you can email us. We are at semoradio@gmail.com. So no score in the football game, and all of a sudden there's been a lot of football played at Southeast Missouri State for a long, long time. With 2 minutes and 23 seconds to play in the first quarter, Tay Bender rips off an 80-yard touchdown run. That is the longest run for a quarterback in school history, and I think the 4th longest run from scrimmage in history by anybody, let alone a quarterback. I mean, it was a great play.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of any of that. It certainly, they were tight. They were playing everybody in the box, and, people don't realize how fast he is. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", 215, but they don't realize, he just house called a really good defense. And those DBs that were chasing him wasn't gaining ground on him.
Tay Bender, I know, coming out of Lincoln, Nebraska, his measurables before he went to Kansas State, because the Kansas State beat writer at the time wrote an article. They clocked him at 4.4 in the 40, and they clocked him at 10.8 in the 100. That's moving for a guy 6'4".
Yep. And he's done a good job running the football all along. It's really more about situations and throwing the ball.
So you're up 7-0 at halftime. Indiana State takes their drive in the third quarter, and they don't do any. Oh, I think you got the opening kickoff. Then it's an interception return. The guy looked like he was a couple of yards deep. They measured it at 100 yards, but he did a nice job of running it all the way back. And then all of a sudden the game is tied, and that's when you decided, hey, let's see Dante Vandeman.
Yeah, that was a major momentum, switch to their sideline. I mean, we're moving the ball right down, and you throw a ball that's not okay. And it just felt like, when you know. And I couldn't even explain it, but I just knew, hey, it's time. And then, got Dante in there and first snaps over his head. So I was like, boy. But I also, this thing's about the OVC. And so if we're going to take our lumps, I want them now so that Murray, we're ready to go. And
so he bobbles the first snap. And it looks like, there's going to be a big loss on the play. And, man, he picks up the football and makes something out of it. He actually got positive yardage out of it.
Yeah, he is like a Houdini back there, man. You get him back there with the ball, and he's just sudden. And those guys that are rushing him can't tackle him. So he made something out of that. And then, he got greedy in the red zone. There's like 3 people open, or he could have ran it. But, Paul was kind of open on the post. He's running to his left, throws to his right, which is like
the old throwback across your body, no.
Yeah, and he made it and threw a second pick in the red zone, which is, just bad football, and so we got to learn from it. The thing I liked about him when he come on the sideline, he wasn't different. when he went out and he come back, he was the same person. I was like, okay, we're ready to roll. Because he didn't let that, he's got confidence. And I'll say this, the reason he had success is I believe he was extremely well coached here at Jackson. I think Coach Eckley does a great job. It's not just him, his entire staff, and people that have been around Jackson football know that's a pressure cooker. Like, buddy, he's been told he's garbage, and he's been told he's the best thing that's ever happened. So he's already experienced, what fans can do, and he has a new role. Now he's the guy. He's been, everybody, he's the National Player of the Week in some deal, and people are twittering him, hey, you're the man, go to prom with me, da-da-da-da. And so now can you handle that distraction and still, come to work every day?
Well, some people around here know for the last 7 years on Friday nights, I call Jackson high school football games, the ones that don't conflict when we travel. Like last week, I couldn't call a game because we were traveling to Terre Haute. So I've seen him play during his 3 varsity seasons, and you could tell he was a Division I player. How many times did you come over here and recruit him and watch him play?
Well, you're only allowed one. So I saw him last year versus Cape, and but I just knew he came to camp, and you just some things you can't even describe, you just know it, and he had it. I can't describe what it is, but when I see it, I know it is it. So
kind of like the guy we'll be talking to in a little while, Paul McRoberts. He's got it.
Yeah. I mean, other than his swag levels, way down today. He let Coach Tuke outdress him today.
So with Dante, not only does he have, you just let the fans know, for those who didn't get to see him in high school, describe how would you portray his arm strength, athleticism, escapability, and ability to make a play when something breaks down?
That the last thing you just said is why he's good. Well, first of all, he's had to run for his life a couple plays there at Jackson. I mean, you've probably seen it. And so he's going to have to do that here for us too. And he's developed those skills. And, a lot of times somebody breaks a pocket, well, something bad happens too. And he's been able to still have discipline while he's creating those plays. And that's what makes him special. So
you bring him in the third quarter, you're down 21-7. And then the fourth quarter rolls in, and everybody knows when the fourth quarter rolls in, all your players put the 4 fingers up, and this is the quarter we have to win this football game, and you did win the fourth quarter. You come out, and this freshman, Dante Vandeven, leads you not only on 3 scoring drives, Coach, he leads you on 3 touchdown drives. You didn't have to bring your kicker in. He scored touchdowns, or he didn't score them all, but he led you on 3 touchdown drives, 1 from Tremaine McCullough, 1 for Lewis Washington, and then as time expired, the unbelievable throw that he made and the phenomenal catch by Paul McRoberts. And real quickly on the final play, and we've got the highlights playing on the high-def televisions here. What you may not be able to see on that throw, first of all, Paul outjumps 2 defenders and then beats a 3rd defender to the goal line to score the touchdown. But before the play, they are lining up 3 defensive backs standing on the goal line, 1 on each sideline and 1 in the middle of the field. They were taking away the goal line, and he still completes the pass, and Paul gets in.
That's why, this is a talent-based game, so we try to start there. And Paul has that ability, and of course, we told Dante, throw it to him ahead of the goal line, because you throw it into the goal line and then it's going to be a collision, where now we felt like they'd let him catch it, and then now we could break an arm tackle. And the thing they had was that number 18. I don't know if you remember the receiver. He was the
guy,
DB.
6'5".
Yeah, and he was the DB.
Robert Tanyan.
Yep, that missed Paul there and let him score because he's not used to tackling. He's used to catching a ball, but he's not used to defending the pass. And, it was a great play. I'm really proud of the fourth quarter because we talk about it, but talk's easy. But, it's easy to have a great attitude and to work hard, play hard, all those things in the first quarter. But when you're tired, you're down by 21 or whatever we ended up going down by. You just threw 2 picks. We've muffed a punt. You done all these things. You're on the road. You're in a game you shouldn't win. No one thinks you're going to win. Well, it's easy to just let it go, and that never happened on our sideline. And obviously, that says a lot about our assistant coaches and our players. I mean, they are going to play. Doesn't matter what that clock looks like, and we're well conditioned.
Well, if you're going to win football games, you want to get your best players involved, and Paul McRoberts is certainly that guy on your team. And I love the fact that, I mean, there were 3 guys hanging on him for that 2-point conversion, but you were going to McRoberts on that play. You were going to go down swinging with your best guy, and the throw was a little high. Paul's 6'3". There was some contact as he went up. 3 defenders around him, and an eyelash away.
Yep. You know, you're not going to get that call. Just like we ran a pick play, they're not going to call pick. And you rerun a fade, and they're not going to call pass interference because they're going to let us play as they should. And they out-executed us on that play. And but when you walk off that field, you have no regrets. Like, I'm not going, I wish I'd have went to overtime. No, I wanted to execute better, and we're going to try to execute better. But I felt good about the decisions we made.
I thought it was still amazing. Everybody on that Indiana State defense knew that if the ball was going to be thrown from the 26-yard line with 2 seconds left, it was going to number 1, and it still ended up going to number 1, and he still makes the play. Like, there are a lot of guys that cannot do that, and there are a lot of guys that don't want to be the guy in the final seconds. Sure. I mean, there are guys that hide from big spots like that. Not McRoberts.
Yep, and says a lot about him not only athletically, just his ability to take all of this, in stride. And he wanted the ball not because he wanted to be the man. He wanted the ball because he wanted to win a game for his teammates. That's the difference. As good a player he is, he's even a better human being. And he's even this female that he's been able to talk into hanging out with, I have no idea. But this gal is amazing. And best thing ever happened to him. And hopefully she doesn't get her eyes checked or something, so I'd move on. But I'm telling you, this guy has got a lot going for him. And you could tell a lot about a guy by who he surrounds himself with. And he's done a good job with that.
What's ironic is he had to stop playing basketball because the sport was too physical. He got hurt playing basketball. You kind of think, well, basketball is kind of a non-contact type thing. But I think there were probably enough people that told him, hey, man, you have a chance to feed your family. You have a chance to be a professional here. And I know basketball is great and everything, but maybe the right decision is let's concentrate on football, get in the weight room. And he decided to do that. And it really looks like it's paying dividends.
Yeah, and I think that's true. But I also think he'll tell you that, he decided to sell out to football because he wanted his teammates to have an unbelievable year this year. That's the kind of guy he is. It wasn't just a decision, strictly based on Paul. He knew what his teammates needed, and he sacrificed for that.
What's your best Paul McRoberts story before we bring him on?
Oh man, I don't know. Try to keep that all on the down low. Plus, they're probably PG-13 anyway.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to give Coach Tuke quotes any more ammunition.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I understand. Well, we'll talk with Paul McRoberts. He is here, and he will join us when we come back from this commercial break. We are at Wings Etc. in Jackson, where they have their lunch specials, include their daily half-pound lunch specials, a half-pound of lunch for only $6.49. So you have an opportunity to take advantage of that and their huge menu. It is at Wings Etc. in Jackson. All-American Paul McRoberts joins us after this when we return on the SEMO ESPN Sports Radio Network.
Think about Wings Etc. See, Wings Etc.
It is the Kofeld Distributing Redhawks Coaches Show live from Wings, etc. in Jackson, where the lunch specials are going on right now, including their daily half-pound lunch special starting at just $6.49. They've got food and drink specials throughout the week, including their famous 59-cent wings every Monday. They have a terrific kids menu. They have family-friendly video games in the dining rooms, and Wings is open 7 days a week. They're open late on the weekends because the games go late. And, of course, they are locally owned and operated and proud to support the local athletes, their families, schools, and teams. And they are proud sponsors of the Redhawks, including this guy who has just joined us, Paul McRoberts, Redhawks All-American wide receiver. Now, what did you have off the menu today?
I had some sweet barbecue, traditional wings. They were hitting as a swag word. Coach Duke said I have no swag, but hitting is one of the words we use when food is really good. So I actually saved a few for my lady because she texted me. So, yeah.
Now, see, he just earned a lot of points with the ladies with that move right there, Coach. So that would fall into the category of swag if I were rating swag. So how you feeling? Because last year I know you battled the broken foot. How did you come back from that? How did it heal? It looked like it healed good because you had a great end of the regular season and were named an All-American. How's the foot feeling today?
My foot's feeling amazing. I feel like I came back from the injury just because my teammates and coaches believed in me and lifted me up every day. And, man, life is too short to be down on yourself and down on everything. So I kind of carry that throughout my whole life, and just my personality and who I am just helps it a lot. And that's pretty much how I came back, just believing that I'll be all right.
All right. So Coach gave you a hard time about what you're wearing. I think you look good. Yeah, you look fine.
It's called baller's gear. You just feel comfortable. You don't have to, dress up to impress anybody. You just wear a little sweats, throw a pair of KDs on, customized, custom made anyway, with my name on them. And some Seymour gear, Redhawk Nation.
Now, for anybody that doesn't know, you have a website, right?
Man, yeah.
Okay. Now it's paulmcroberts.com, right?
Yeah.
Now you didn't set it up, right? Or you
No.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it.
Okay. So, but people can find out the latest of what's going on, and you are on Twitter. Now, what's your Twitter handle?
PT Going Pro is my Twitter name. I set it up a long time ago. It was nothing. To me, I didn't know I was going pro or, had any idea, NFL was interested in me, but it was just something that I liked the ring of it. And, people always used to tell me, you can really go, you can really do this. And so I kind of made that my thing. So
I know you're a good teammate. The one thing you're concentrating on is trying to help the Redhawks win football games, but you wouldn't be human if it wasn't kind of cool to see NFL scouts, and at least the count is 10 different NFL teams, and there may have been more this week or this last week, but as of 2 weeks ago, 10 different NFL teams have been to Houck Stadium to watch you work out. They're not watching anybody else. Now, someone may catch their eye, but they're here to look at you. That's got to feel pretty cool.
Man, everything is just crazy because everything I do in life isn't for me, I enjoy doing it for other people. So bringing those teams in, it's always like, guys ask me, how does it feel? How's it feel? And I'm like, it feels normal. I tune those guys out during practice and things like that. It doesn't break off my focus or anything. But after practice, it's nice to meet them because they're guys that got knowledge and they're really wise and have a lot of wisdom to give to me. So everything I do is for my team at the end of the day. So, but it's amazing, seeing a kid, where I come from, get all the attention now. It's like, it's just an amazing feeling just knowing it and you believe in yourself even more. So.
All right. Now, growing up, you had an older brother who was a pretty good athlete, right?
Yes, sir. Leonard Triplett actually played defensive end, and he was an animal. And, he got into that car wreck and ended his career. So he the one really made me play football. High school had the decision to play basketball or football, and he was really like, you're playing football again. I'm like, no, I made my decision. I want to play basketball.
So you were going to give up football altogether in high school.
And it was so easy to decide. I was going to give football with no problem. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be playing, really. A lot of people encouraged me to stick with football, but if it wasn't for him, personally, I probably wouldn't be playing football.
Well, you did pretty well in basketball, too, at Soldan, won a state championship, and I think it was the first state championship since 1981. It'd been a long time coming at Soldan High School. What was that like, winning a state title?
Unbelievable. The feeling didn't even hit you, once the buzzer went off. Our guys are crying over the floor, and I'm kind of confused. But I know I want to jump on that dog pile just because, everybody else did. But winning that game, it really didn't faze me, even though we played against Dorio Green
DGB,
yeah, and he's a great person. Besides being an athlete, and me and him are like very similar in every way. So I think he was a great guy, and beating him was really really fun, even though it wasn't for football. But
well,
a pleasure.
Let me ask you this: you probably saw he caught his first touchdown pass in the NFL this past week for the Tennessee Titans from Marcus Mariota. When you heard about that, I'm sure you were excited for him, but do you think, man, one of these days I would love to be able to do that?
Oh, yeah. One of these days, I love Peyton Manning, and watching him struggle a little bit the other day kind of, had me down. But he picked it up, and those guys, came back and did their thing. But DGB is a guy that, I definitely, kind of look up to as a person because just playing against him and also just watching his highlight tape from high school was so similar. Like we can both go get the ball and everything like that. So talking to the Titans coach the other day, he asked me, did I know him? And I was like, yeah, I know him pretty well. So it's somebody that, I'm proud of him for, catching his first touchdown pass. And I definitely can't wait to, get my opportunity as well.
Paul McRoberts, Redhawks All-American wide receiver, joining us here on the Coalfeld Distributing Redhawks Coaches Show with Coach Tuke and Wings, etc. in Jackson. And what kind of feedback do you get from the pro scouts? I mean, what do they say? Here's what we think of you. Here's what we think you need to work on. What do you hear any feedback? Are they allowed to give you any feedback?
Most feedback is, have fun. I don't know if they're allowed to or not, but most guys are really just wise and give me a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and that's to have fun with the game. And that's what I base my game off anyway, just having fun. We talked about that last catch, how did it feel or what was I thinking? I don't think anything different than just having fun. No pressure, no stress, no anything. When I'm out there, it's just me, the ball, and the quarterback, and just playing catch. That's it.
So what's a mindset? You've got the football at the 26-yard line. There's 2 seconds left on the clock. They put 3 defenders back at the goal line. Basically, it's like Hail Mary defense, but it's not a Hail Mary. 26 yards, a legitimate pass. Yeah. You got a freshman quarterback back there. Everybody wearing a blue jersey knows the football is going to you. What's going through your mind when you run your route, you go up in double coverage, grab the ball, leave a guy in your dust as you go into the end zone?
First off, Dante is an amazing person, and I'm thankful that he, committed to SEMO. I told him before we went out there, I said, hey, just come play with that Jackson swag. I wanted to be an Indian. I've never even known about the school, but just because he came from there, he made me want to be a part of it, part of that environment and, community. But I said, carry that Jackson swag and just play like we are those guys you played with high school with, even though you don't know us that well. But you can do this. And, he looked for me. He said, I'm coming to you regardless. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to make the play for you. But me, I just think about just going to get the ball regardless. I think that me and Dante just playing a game of catch. When those guys hit each other, I had no idea until I saw a photo of it. Like, I didn't think the safety was going to stop me. I caught the ball and just ran to the end zone. And that's just how I vision everything. No pressure.
Well, you've got a size advantage against any defensive back you're going up. You've got long arms, tremendous leaping ability, and then the hands. Nobody. I mean, maybe there might be a 6'8" gargantuan lineman that has hands as big as you. Yeah. How much of an asset is that, though? Not only to have big hands, but to have strong hands and be able to catch the ball at the point you need to catch it.
It's a blessing, I can say. I shake Phil Gochi saying all the time, and Phil one person that always make jokes about my hands. So Phil got these tiny hamburger hands. So sometimes I want to chop my hands off and let them borrow them sometimes. But it's just a blessing to have huge hands. But also I think baseball. I played baseball growing up, and I think my hand-eye coordination and just adjusting to the ball helped me out a lot. So that which made football become easy to play and to catch the ball. So I feel like catching is the easiest thing to me. The things I want to work on is after the catch, getting into the end zone like I did and catching it and getting more yards. Catching is phenomenal, and it's easy to me. It's not easy to a lot of people, but to me, I don't even think about catching. I just know I'm going to make a catch. So,
all right, the video circulated early in camp. It might have been the first day of camp as you guys closed things out, that Odell Beckham Jr. type one-handed grab that you made and then raced for a touchdown. And then we see another catch that you made on the Rosengarten practice field where I don't know if you bobbled it 3 times, you fell on your stomach and somehow came down with the ball. Which one is the better catch?
I feel like wait, let me think about this one. Man, I think the bobble one was pretty, heroic. And I didn't even think I was going to catch that, to be honest. I had my eyes on the ball the whole time. And normally I don't even have to look at the ball to catch it. But that one I was really focused because my stomach was on the ground and my elbows was flat. So there was no way I could adjust my arms or anything to catch it. So I just stuck with it and caught it. And the defense got excited and erupted, tried to rush the field. And then coach was like, it's a touchdown. And defense like, oh, my God, like, how did he catch that? But the
sideline was great because your teammates acted like you just won the conference championship.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then plus you had an NFL scout there, and he was like right by the end zone. It was like, oh my God, his face was phenomenal. And
what team was that?
I can't remember what it was. I think it was the Rams. I'm not sure though. I think it was St. Louis Rams.
Oh, they need a receiver bad. Man, Ram fans, huh? They need this guy or what?
Man.
All right, so we're getting closer to conference play. We're not there yet.
Yes, sir.
So everything that you do leads up to Murray State in 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
So you've got Shorter University coming up this week. What's the mindset of the football team? One final tune-up game before it starts OVC for real. And a Murray State team that you guys owe a little something to. You guys had that game won last year.
That's personal to me because I didn't get to play, so that's really personal, and for my team still, but it's kind of personal to me because before the game, those guys came to me like, man, how you doing? How you doing? Smiling and like, we're glad you're not playing. And it's like, you can't do anything about it. You just like hope my team just get out there and do the best they can. So, but going into this week is preparation. Talking about putting 4 quarters together. Any team can go in a fourth quarter. If you're down or if you're tied, and just put those forwards up and get a little momentum and motivation. But how can you put all 4 quarters together and become this phenomenal team that you have? And that's my goal. I feel like a coach when I'm out there. I don't feel like a player. That's why my role is so important to me to help my team because I'm a coach at the end of the day. I have to grow as a player, but I love coaching the younger guys and coaching my team. So put 4 quarters together and see what kind of Redhawk team you have. So.
Well, one of the coaches on the staff last year was Willie Ponder.
Oh, yeah.
And to this point, he's the single greatest receiver to ever come through this school. He set the touchdown record of 26 in 2 years, which is phenomenal. I saw every game he ever played here. Just a phenomenal guy. Played in the NFL. In fact, he led the NFC with the New York Giants in kick returns for the entire NFC one year. So you had a chance to be coached by him and pick his brain just a little bit. Did you learn anything? What did you learn from Willie Ponder?
I learned from Coach Ponder that everything is full speed. You can't take a play off, and that's something that I always felt like I've done. Taking plays off, and actually talking to Mama Lena about taking plays off, or what can I have done to get better. And one thing I'm gonna work on today at practice is going full speed every play, and just trying to get better for my team. But I learned from Coach Ponder that everything is full speed, and you have to basically have confidence with it, and your technique is important too. But I mean, in OVC, and it's not easy to run routes against people, but I kind of don't think about people being there. I just run to the spot and really try to get open.
All right. You're 4 touchdowns away from tying Willie Ponder's record of touchdown receptions. You've got 22. He's got 26. If you break that record, you going to send him a text?
For sure. I'm going to brag, No, I'm not that person. I might send him a text, he might, say congratulations. But that's one thing about me. I'm kind of scared to brag. I don't know. It's just not in me. I'm this person that's confident, not cocky or conceited. So, I mean, I'll send them a text, though, and let them know I broke it because I'm pretty sure they probably let him know. But personally, it'll mean a lot to me because I know he'll be proud of me.
Are you seeing defenses do anything different against you now? I mean, you weren't a secret last year. You weren't a secret the year before that. But now you're an All-American. Teams have to game plan for certain players. I mean, they have to game plan for you. Are you seeing defenses do different things than you saw in years past? Oh, yeah, definitely zone, man, like zone, and have the safety over the top helping. A lot of teams have done that, even Mizzou. So it's, I think of that as a positive thing because,
me not being selfish, I want to open up Adrian and Peter Lloyd and Darius Dorton-Box and my other receivers, and just I want them to have breakout years just like me and get the experience, to have fun and see what it feels like. But I think teams definitely recognize me this year, and they definitely want to stop me any way they can. So they even put 3 men on me before, so it's kind of a big deal.
On the 2-point conversion, you had triple coverage.
Yeah, and I think teams definitely know better to lead the guy, one-on-one, because most likely he's going to get the ball.
All right. Well, Adrian Davis is a guy with a similar body type to you, 6'3". Man. I know he's getting stronger.
Taller.
And he was named a freshman All-American after last year. Talk about his potential.
Man, his potential is even greater than mine. So I know everyone looks at me to be this great player and a great person, but Adrian is only a sophomore, and it's crazy because his game is like my game already. He just don't have the confidence that I have to go out there and play, because he's still maturing and still growing. But this kid is amazing to me, and I always want him to do great. And so even like the last play on 2-point conversion, I put Adrian inside and told him that I was going to pick because he run that play a lot more than me in practice. So I really believed in him. I was like, you got to get this one. But coach switched us back, things like that. But I feel like I believe in him a phenomenal amount, and he's a great kid.
All right. Did you feel like you guys had to beat SIU because that was Coach Tukes' former team? And by the way, you own the Salukis. 5 of your 22 touchdowns have come against SIU in your career. They're glad you're leaving.
I remember talking to the coach last year, and they was like, they thought it was my last year, and they was, man, I'm glad we don't get to play you again. And I upset them real fast, like, you got to see me again. I'm going to beat you guys before I leave this school. So. And it was a chip on our shoulder. It was personal. We never beat them. Even though I scored my first touchdown as a freshman on my very first play, against the Salukis, it was still a chip on my shoulder because I know how bad I really wanted to beat them and how bad my team wanted to beat them. So I put that game on my shoulders for real, and I was like, we're going to beat these guys no matter what, And Coach Tukes too, I feel like it was a great game, an inspiring game for him, to be his, old school. So we had to do it for him too, and we love him to death.
All right, Dante Vandeven is the new quarterback. He will start. What does he bring to the game? It's the old saying, what does he bring to the table? But he's got a lot of tools. And what have you seen from him as far as leadership? Because, boy, he sure led you in the fourth quarter to 3 touchdown drives.
Man, he's a poised, humble young man. Like, it's crazy. You never seen a freshman come in with that much swag and that much, poise and just confidence. And it was like, he was like, guys, I got this, just relax. And everybody just took a deep breath, like, did this freshman just say this? Is he telling us upperclassmen to be quiet and just trusting him? And from the get-go, I did, but the other guys really had to look at him like, man, he got this. And just the swag he carry himself, man, he's a phenomenal athlete and even amazing person. We voted him leadership council because we think so, and it's amazing as a freshman to be on a leadership council. And everyone thinks so, then that's a big deal. No doubt in my mind that he can lead this team to great things.
All right. You look at now the injury to DeMichael Jackson. That's a tough blow. We don't know how long he'll be out. But, boy, Tremaine McCullough stepped up over 100 yards rushing, including a big touchdown. What kind of things can Tremaine McCullough do for this offense?
Man, tremendous things. Speedy Gonzalez, the road runner. We can call him a lot of names, but the thing about him too, he have a lot of confidence in himself and this team. To come from JUCO, to transfer and not know anyone and adapt so fast and believe in us and believe what he can do. I feel like he has a strong role in his team, and we need him to really get going a little better too. But to get running, and we got to block better for him. And if we block, he's taking it to the house every time because I feel like no one can catch him if he get in the open field.
All right, Shorter University at 1 o'clock now. Coach Tukes always says the players feed on the fans and the atmosphere. How accurate is that?
99.9%. Because, man, this fan in this community behind us means so much. I don't think we would have beat SIU if we didn't have, the house packed that night. So, just family and friends and the whole Cape community, Jackson, everyone's just coming in and support us. I know some people hate when they say, they jumping on the bandwagon now because of this, but me, I never had that outlook. It's like, we need that. I don't care who jump on now and immediately because we need that. We need the love and support. And it means a lot to us. And I hope this next game, even though by being a D2, that the house is packed again. We need that. So we love it. It's a phenomenal feeling, and it's the greatest feeling in the world.
They come from a good conference. The Gulf South Conference has won 11 Division II national championships. So,
Man.
I mean, they play in a tough conference at Division II. All right, one more time. What's your Twitter handle? And we'll see if we can get you a few more followers on Twitter.
Please. I don't have any. No, just playing. PT Going Pro.
Going with a G.
Going with a G.
Okay.
PTGOINGPRO.
All right. Been fun. Can't wait for the rest of the ride. Paul, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. That's Paul McRoberts. We'll return to Wings, etc. in Jackson to wrap things up with Coach Tuke. It's the Coalfeld Distributing Redhawks Coaches Show on the SEMO ESPN Sports Radio Network.
For the Saturday Morning Express. Catch it every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on ESPN.
Welcome back. It is the Coalfeld Distributing Redhawks Coaches Show at Wings, etc. in Jackson. We'll be back in the Cape location next week, so we hope you'll make plans to join us Tuesday at 12 noon with Coach Tuke. Final thoughts here, Coach, as you get ready for Shorter University. They're a team that has just made the transition. They started transitioning in 2011 from NAIA, where they had some success, to Division II. So they have gone to their full Division II status now, playing the Gulf South Conference. Their head coach has been there for 11 seasons. Used to be an assistant at Georgia back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And was a very successful high school football coach for 29 years in the state of Georgia. They were 3-8 last year, 2-9 the year before that. 2012, the first year that they made the jump, they went 6-5. They came within an eyelash of beating Kennesaw State, who is an FCS school. I think they're in their first year of that. Kennesaw State, they were lining up for a game-winning field goal with 8 seconds left, and they botched the snap, and Kennesaw State picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. So they came within an eyelash of beating an FCS school just last week.
Yeah, they got, good players. I think when you look at this, I'd be able to see, well, I wonder if they're going to have a letdown, and we're prepared for it. When you have a letdown, when you have 2 emotional games, and then you come in this next week, and then we just pound them. What I did is I gave them 2 days off. I gave them Sunday and Monday off because you have to just recover emotionally. I mean, we put it out there so far that, our kids need to just get away from football a little bit. And I wanted them today, when I get my team, I want them excited about watching the film and getting the game plan instead of, Sunday going right back at it and them not being as excited. But this is definitely a challenge. Number one challenge is their offense. They run the same offense like the academies run. Navy beats Notre Dame last year, and I think when you look at that,
Air Force runs a triple option too, don't they?
And they don't have as good of players as Notre Dame. So how does that happen?
Yeah.
This offense really, kind of diffuses the athleticism because, everybody's got a job to do, and you can't just have great players running around making plays. And so I know our defensive coaches have been working extra hard to try to get a good game plan, but that's a concern. And, you got to have your offense scout team replicate that, and it's hard to do. So we got to have a great practice today and, go after it.
It's their Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep. And they'll, they'll be talking about this game and, it can make their season. And so I'm certainly think we're going to get their best, and as we should, and I'm looking forward to it. Like, I can't wait, bring it, and I'm going to tell my players, like, hey, let's get it. They're trying to take something from you. They're trying to take your season from you. And we need to, when they get here, we need to get it on. That's what we need to do. I'm kind of sorry. I'm an hour outside my team meeting. I'm kind of getting fired up.
I think you broke your iPhone, but we'll get you another one. We did get one tweet, by the way, and I want to acknowledge Chris Smith. He said, Coach, how do you feel about defending the run pass option that's so popular these days?
It's really difficult. What he's talking about is they have a run play called and a pass play, and so half the offense is doing this, half the offense is doing that, and it just puts a lot of one-on-one matchups out there, and that's why you're seeing all these really big scores and yards and those type of things, because you're just a lot of one-on-one and one missed tackle, and now all of a sudden it goes big. No different than the Jackson Bluff game last Friday, I believe. That's what happens. You get a lot of offense.
All right. Dante Vandeven, what's the most important thing for him preparing for his first start as a Division I quarterback leading up to Saturday?
Attitude and effort, just what he's done up to this point, it should look the same. But it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder when everybody's telling you this, how good you are and those type of things. But I think we'll be fine, and I can tell you I'm on the lookout for it. So I don't think I'll have a letdown at all. I think we'll be proud of the game he has, and I think he needs to understand, we got guys like Paul and others that he doesn't have to be the guy, just run our offense and make great decisions. All
right. It'll be at 1:00 on Saturday. Again, it's take a kid to the game day. Kids under 14 accompanied by an adult get in free. Adult tickets start at just $10. So weather is supposed to be perfect. Beautiful. Let's have a big turnout at Houck.
Yeah. Come out, support these guys that work really hard, and let's get on a roll.
All right. Give Dante a little piece of advice for me. Throw the ball to McRoberts.
Gotcha. I'll keep the coaching to me. And you can say that on the radio.
All right. We appreciate it, Coach. We'll see you Saturday. All right. That's Coach Tuke, and that's going to do it from here. We've got Russillo and Cannell coming up next on ESPN Radio. We'll be back in the Cape location next week. Don't forget, it's a 1:00 kickoff Saturday at Houck Stadium. We'll say so long, everybody, from Wings in Jackson.
The Sports Huddle and all your favorite teams. Get it all.